Thank you very much. We're ready to start the alumni talks. Thank you very much for everyone who came in early. The Alumni Talks Nigeria is a platform that allows us hear from subject matter experts, inform us and enlighten us about information that are vital to our collaborative success. So we're building business to business and business to customer opportunities within and outside the ISEC alumni ecosystem. I'd like to thank everybody who has come on time. We are starting right now. The first person speaker would be BABJIDE Teller, and the second person who will be presenting to us will be TOYOSI Bolarin. Both of them will have a few minutes presentations, and then they will now go into the dialogue of everything you need to know about cryptocurrency. So all the questions you have, all the mysterious misgivings, and even I have heard some absurd things about cryptocurrency. I will be asking those questions today. So BABJIDE Teller, the floor is yours, and we are all ears. Thank you. So I would like to even know you better before you start your presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Anthony. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm just gonna bring my screen up now. 1 second. And I'll introduce myself, and then we can go into the session proper. And I'm gonna try and stick to my 15 minutes. And today, just give me the heads up if I'm going way above my time. It does okay. All right. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
All right. No, that's good. All right. So hello everyone. My name is BABJIDE Teller. Some of you probably know me as Teller during my ISEC days. I mean, you can call me Jide. Some people call me Baba now. So I guess it's probably easier for people to call me Baba than to call me BABJIDE before they start murdering my name. I was an ISECer for 6 years. I finished from the University of Ilorin in 2014, and after university, I joined a Tier 1 global investment bank, and I work as the HR business partner, looking after their corporate and investment banking business from an HR perspective here in EMEA being Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And outside of my HR business partnering role, I'm a fintech enthusiast. So I'm the guy that likes to talk about money and technology. And I have a website, just a blog where I kind of write, I just write about tech and I write about money. I'm very passionate about money, as you probably will realize that by the end of this session. So that's judeteller.com. And I've been invited today to talk about cryptocurrency. And it's one topic that I'm super interested in. And we continue to evolve in this space and we continue to learn in this space. But I think for me, the motivation for why I'm really keen on cryptocurrency, and by the way, yeah, I think this should be currency, double R. So please pardon me for that. I've written cryptocurrency wrongly. Apologies. Anyways, so the reason why I'm very passionate about cryptocurrency is pretty much on the basis that it's the future. And if there's anything, I beat myself really hard for missing out on a whole number of opportunities in the past. And when I say opportunities in this context, it's pretty much opportunities from the angle of what is going to change the way things are done in the world today. What are the disruptions that we should expect in different space in the world today? And cryptocurrency presents to us an opportunity to be part of that journey. And for me, it's about disruption, it's about money, it's about technology. I'm always interested. Before I go into my slides, I like to just share this, this quote that I like to talk about it a lot. And it is one thing that probably, suggests to the world how I view cryptocurrency and what I think and what I genuinely believe it's going to do to the way we see money today. So, as I like to say, the future is here already. So people talk a lot about, oh, something is the future. I think when it comes to cryptocurrency, the future is actually today. It started yesterday. The future is still today, and the future will still be tomorrow. And the way we move money, the way we spend it, the way we exchange money, and the way we access financial services is changing, and it's changing really, really fast. And the thing is, if you're not part of the early adopters now, at some point in the future, you will be part of it by default. Exactly the same way everyone uses WhatsApp today by default as their messenger without thinking twice about it. If I want to call my mom now, I just call my mom on WhatsApp. I don't even think of sending her messages anymore or calling her on a mobile phone. That's because WhatsApp is now part of our life by default in one form or shape. And that's exactly what cryptocurrency is going to do to financial services. It's definitely going to change the way we do things, and it's going to become part of our life at some point in the future by default. So let's go into the session proper. Why is my screen not working? Okay, all right, it's working now. All right. So I like to talk about cryptocurrency by walking people through a journey. And for me, it's what I refer to as the evolution of money. And I like to start by saying, let's talk about barter. So we think about trade by barter, for example. And at the beginning of civilization, as you're probably aware of, maybe in economic study back in university or back in secondary school, primary school, we know that when trade by barter is basically the means of exchanging things. So I give you goods, in exchange for services. In those days, they either use slaves or they use gold, or they even use knives or what have you to exchange for something that serve as a means of transaction, and that was what people were using then. But fast forward, I think during the era of the trade by barter, there were a number of difficulties that came into the picture, and they had to find another way, another means of actually transacting with people, and that is what gave birth to metal. So this was during the coinage era when they were using gold, silver, copper as a means of exchange. So that served as what we refer to as money back in the days. And I think this was very, way back in, maybe in the 770 BC or something. I mean, I wasn't born at the time, but that was basically what history told us, and that's what we're aware of. And we do know that even so in the world today, we still hold, likes of gold, silver, and copper, to a very high esteem, and we use them today even as a store of value. But there was a time in the history of civilization when it was actually used as a means of exchange, in form of coins. And then we're going to where we are currently, which is what I refer to as fiat currency. So paper money, basically, or you call it banknotes, what have you, right? Which is the dollars, the Nigerian naira, the Japanese yen, the pound sterling that we all spend in the world today, that we go to our banks to withdraw or to save in, or we even rely so much on our bank to actually, to save that money for us. Now, if you think about this three evolution up until this point, which is where we are right now, there is always a reason why we needed to introduce something new, and something new in a way to disrupt the norm. And if you think about where we are right now with the paper currency, we know for sure, and the majority of you will agree with me that the banking system in the world today, the financial services in the world today are not particularly there to be trusted. They're not as reliable as probably how they were when they first started back in whenever banknotes was introduced, in the US in the 1930s. And if we can, and I mean, we also what happened in 2008 with all the financial services crises, with the old disruption that came into the financial market, and now that disrupted the world economy at large. And and ever since then, there's been so much scrutiny around the financial services that we have access to in the world today, the banknotes that we have access to in the world today. We know that governments continue to print money whenever they need money, and that in itself brings about inflation. So if you think about $1 million, if you're relocating, say, from the United States to Nigeria, and you move $1 million, say at a time when $1 was changing for 150 naira. You know, if that means when you were going to Nigeria, you probably moved to Nigeria with 150 million naira. You know, fast forward into 2019, 2020, 2021, $1 is now selling for about 470. That means your 150 million naira is no longer 150 million naira anymore. You know, because that means your $1 million is no longer your $1 million anymore that you brought in. It's actually been reduced, and it's been reduced massively. And if I think of all of this problem, and I think something else, or rather, I think history will not repeat itself by something else coming in to replace what we currently know today, then that would be me just being naive, right? And that is where cryptocurrency comes into play. Because there is need for fairness, there is need for inclusion, there is need for us to hedge ourselves against inflation, there is need for us to be able to access financial services, you know, in ways that we've never been able to in the past. You know, there is need for us to be able to borrow money and lend money regardless of where we are located, you know, hence the need for a new form of money that is expected to disrupt every other thing we've known about money till date. And that is why this session is very important. And it's more of, what do you need to know? What are the key things that you must know about cryptocurrency? And I know at the end of the session, there's going to be time to ask questions. So I'm also trying to make sure that I'm sticking to time. So what is cryptocurrency? Why is it even important? So, I mean, I have some definition here for you all to see. So it's simply a digital asset currency that can be transferred, it can be stored, and it can be traded. So think about your Naira, think about your pounds, think about your US dollars or your Japanese yen, depending on what part of the world you are currently, right? And think of another form of money, but this time around, not something you can hold, not something you can walk into the bank and withdraw, but stays very digital. Cryptocurrency in itself offer what we refer to, what we refer to as decentralization. And basically, what that means is that there is no third party. So it means that we don't have to rely on banks to help with all of our financial services like we currently do. It means that we don't need governments to be at the center of all things, where they start to, they just print money whenever they feel like printing money. If, for example, Nigerian government, rather than Nigerian government defaulting on a bond, for example, they would rather print money to pay the investors. Right, and you tend to see that happening all across the world. I mean, the US is a very good example. We've seen what's going on in Zimbabwe, and even with the Turkish lira at the moment. But with cryptocurrency, it basically takes all of this control away from those people that we refer to as a central authority. I mean, these guys too as well there will be a key player in the cryptocurrency space. They're already playing their part now through regulations. And I think we'll touch on that too as well at some point during the course of the session. But this is basically what cryptocurrency is. And I've tried to simplify it in a very, very simple term. And just in terms of numbers, cryptocurrency itself, I would say, was launched in 2009. I mean, there are articles out there that refer to, Bitcoin, for example, being the number one cryptocurrency, being launched in 2008. I just prefer to go with 2009. Currently, the cryptocurrency market capitalization is at $2.1 trillion. And just so you know, that's not even close to the market capitalization of gold. And if you start to think about cryptocurrency in the way, I refer to as store of value, or, as a form of payment or moving money all around the world, you will know that $2.1 trillion is pretty much us just scratching the surface. And we go on to 24 hours volume. So again, I mean, in a matter of 24 hours, and just so you know, I got this from coinmarketcap.com, we have over $134 billion transactions happening within the cryptocurrency ecosystem every single day. That is massive. That means people are adopting it. That means people are using it to move money around all around the world, either as form of payments, or either to hedge something, or either as a form of collateral, or even just buying it to store it for future gains. And then you have, I mean, we have so many cryptocurrencies in the world. I think that's very important to mention. I know the popular one, Bitcoin, you know, there's so many other alternative cryptocurrencies out there. But just so you're aware, as we, you know, from coinmarketcap.com, we have over 9,000 cryptocurrencies. But I'm going to focus more on Bitcoin. I mean, I'm a pro Bitcoin guy. You know, I'm super keen on Bitcoin. It's definitely the future. It's going to replace every single thing we think we know about money today. So let's go into that very quickly. So what is Bitcoin and why should you care? So like I said earlier, so Bitcoin is the future of money. Again, it's basically the very first, it is for the very first time in the history of civilization, we have something that can serve as a purpose for money that I can exchange for your services or for a particular goods, and at the same time serve as a payment system, basically as your own bank, where you can actually start something for the cost, for, you know, for the sake of preserving value, or for, you know, or for even just keeping track records of every single transaction. And if you think about Bitcoin in that regard, this is the technology that is going to change financial services. I'm not saying it's going to replace things at this point. What I know for sure is that it's going to disrupt how we bank in the world today. And why should you really care? I mean, I've got a number of things. One, you know, you use it as payment, and it's a payment system. I mentioned that already. Two, it's immune to inflation. And when I say immune to inflation, I mean the people that we argue that, oh yeah, but cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, for example, is super volatile. You know, it was selling for $3,000 last March. Now it's selling for $56,000. How are we so sure it's not going to drop back to like $20,000 in the coming months? Yeah, we don't know. But with Bitcoin, there is a cap to Bitcoin. They can only and will only be 21 million Bitcoins in the world. And if you think about it that way, it means that there is no room for some people somewhere to say, oh my God, I need more money, I need more Bitcoin, then let us print more Bitcoin. When we get to that point,
BABJIDE, sorry, I have to cut you short here. It's 50 minutes up. Our second speaker will take the presentation, and then we'll go into the Q&A session. I'm so sorry, but we need to keep to time. Sorry about that. Thank you, BABJIDE.
Should I just walk through it for 1 minute? I'm literally on my last slide, actually.
Okay. All right. 1 minute. Thank you.
All right. 60 seconds. Thank you very much. All right. So, you know, it's immune to inflation. You know, if you think about the returns since 2013 to date, is over 40,000% profit, you know, depending on who bought it back in 2013. 1 second. Yeah, and again, privacy is really, really important when it comes to Bitcoin. It definitely offers that, totally different from what you probably see from your bank today. And we're still very early, so you should care because we're still at the early stage of it. 3 easy steps to get started with cryptocurrency. You can download a cryptocurrency wallet. You need to complete your registration and KYC, and make sure that you buy your first Bitcoin. You can use your credit card, your bank transfer, or peer-to-peer. And know for those in Nigeria, there are probably restrictions on what you can do and what you cannot do about buying. And I think TOYOSI is going to touch on that as always, the next speaker. And lastly, these are the other things that you can do with Bitcoin. Now you have your Bitcoin, what else can you do? I encourage people to stack it up, buy as many as you can, keep buying till the future comes. Stake it. You can stake it the same way you fix money in your bank account. You can actually stake Bitcoin or cryptocurrency for future gains, and you just have to be patient. And please do not panic. I think that's pretty much everything at this point. I'm just going to go on mute now. And when it's time for questions, I'm more than happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, BABJIDE. If there's one thing you've taken us through, you took us through the evolution of money, and you've also let us know that this is going to be a disruptive item in the future. And for us to think that it's not going to happen is being foolhardy. Without taking much time, TOYOSI, he has taken a few minutes of yours, so we'll probably give you 16 to 17 minutes as well to do your presentation. Then we go into the questions and answers. You can share your screen, TOYOSI. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Everyone, good evening. Just where is this thing again? Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right. So again, quick intro. My name is TOYOSI Abolarin. I'm an investor, entrepreneur. I'm also a consultant. So today I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrencies, what you must know, and I will try my best not to talk about investing yet. You guys can, ask in the comment section in relation to, investing. So I always like to start by telling people that I am not a certified investment advisor because cryptocurrencies are very, very volatile. So you need to always know the best strategies and how you can invest in this space. Secondly, or thirdly, I'm going to start with my beliefs. So what are some things that I believe are happening in this space? First is the markets for cryptocurrencies is overheated and irrationally exorbitant. So what do I mean? I mean that they are overvalued. I also understand, or I believe that there are a lot of scams. We have more scam projects than actually real working projects. I also understand that very, very few people that are buying cryptocurrencies today understand what is going on. I feel a lot of people are just buying it because I heard it is going on. In fact, someone tweeted at me, someone shared a tweet with me last week that the guy posted, let me also write about crypto, make it look like I say I know this serious with my life. Let me just, write about crypto. Let me write something about cryptocurrencies. Fourthly, is a lot of people think that banks and governments are going away. I don't think they are. People generally compare cryptocurrencies with replacing banks and traditional banks. I don't think they are going away. And lastly, traditional software is not going away. I say traditional software because we are in that age where cryptocurrencies are actually software. We started with, what's it called? We started internet, World Wide Web, Web 1.0. We are currently in the era of Web 2.0. Web 1.0 was basically sending plain messages, sending emails. There were no interactions. Now we're in Web 2.0, and Web 2.0 is that era of social media where there is actual interaction of data, videos, and stuff like that, which is what we are enjoying now. Web 3.0 is the era of value transfer. Transferring of value, transferring of value, and building of apps in a decentralized way. But in the midst of all the noise, a market cap of the entire crypto, as BABJIDE shared, it is over $2 trillion. In the midst of all this noise, there is a signal. And that signal is what I want us to pay attention to today. There's noise because people are making money off it. People are raising millions of dollars in 3 minutes. Last week, I participated in a sale, of a crypto project. They were raising money and they raised about $8 million in 4 minutes. $8 million. Like in 2017, during the ICO boom, you can just look up, just Google ICO. People were raising as high as $90 million without any actual working product, just white paper. But the thing is, in the midst of all this noise, there is a signal. And that signal is to show us that, okay, there's something of value here. There's something that we should pay attention to. And before we know what we should pay attention to, we need to define what cryptocurrencies are. So I define cryptocurrencies as a new asset class that enable decentralized applications. So again, I highlighted it if you look at my slide, asset class and decentralized applications. So asset class, I tell people today that the number of followers you have on social media is an asset. Having a domain name is an asset. like that is having a www.facebook.com, is an asset. Having a isec.com, like isec.com, is an asset which you can transfer to someone else. Someone will buy it from you at a later date. So so cryptocurrencies are a new type of asset class. I want us to have that definition at the back of our head. One is an asset class that enable decentralized applications. The second thing is now, what are decentralized applications? Decentralized applications are a new form of organization and a new form of software that are operated, financed, created in a decentralized manner from top to bottom. And what do I mean? Think of a WhatsApp today. A WhatsApp today that is not owned by Facebook or that is not owned by Mark Zuckerberg. So, think of which other software? Twitter. Yeah, think of Twitter that is a Twitter that is not owned by Jack Dorsey or Square. So yeah. So decentralized applications are a new form of organization and a new form of software. So so now, how do cryptocurrencies enable decentralized applications? Remember, there is an asset class that allow decentralized apps to work. So yeah. So now I'll take us through the use cases. I'll start with Filecoin. So Filecoin is a cryptocurrency that is used to store. The easiest way to define it is, if you have Dropbox today, Dropbox is a cloud storage, cloud storage software. So you have you put files on Dropbox. Your laptop is dead. You can always access your file by going to dropbox.com. Dropbox is a centralized organization, is owned by an entity. So now think about a Dropbox that is actually not owned by anybody. This thing is distracting me. So you're just thinking about a Dropbox that is not owned by any single entity. And what do I mean? So let's say Toyosi today has my laptop. My laptop has 1 terabyte. I can decide to give up 500 megabytes, 500 gig out of the 1 terabyte that I have to Filecoin, and tell them that, okay, somebody wants to store their software, their file on cloud. Instead of storing it on Dropbox, you can actually store it on my laptop, where it's going to be encrypted in a way that, one, I don't have access to that file, and secondly, I don't have access to the 500 gig that I already gave off. But I have to be incentivized. I have to be paid for giving off that 500 gig that I'm sharing, that I'm giving off on my laptop. So that's this that I'm giving off is going to be the reward. They are going to incentivize me by giving me Filecoin, a coin that I can now go and trade at a later date. Again, let me try recap what I just said. Instead of you storing your file on cloud, on a centralized entity like Dropbox or Google Drive, you can decide to actually store it on an app, on a decentralized app. A decentralized app that is not owned. They are going to share up. The person giving up his own space will create, 500 gig, 1 gig, whatever, and you share an encrypted file of yours. You can save it on that file. The person that is that space will be incentivized with a currency or with a token, and that token is going to be called Filecoin. So that Filecoin that you now have is what people will now, is what people are now trading in the market, now trading on exchanges, trading everywhere, that, hey, I have Filecoin, and people are speculating on it. The second use case I'm going to be giving is Ethereum. So Ethereum is a decentralized app for building decentralized apps. So just the same way there's Filecoin, and as Judy has mentioned, there are loads and loads of cryptocurrencies. We have over at least 10,000 cryptocurrencies. Just go to coinmarketcap.com, you see them. So Ethereum is that infrastructure. Yeah, let me put infrastructure that you can use to build another decentralized app. Now the question is, how will an app work from top to bottom without it being controlled by a central party? Who pays for the servers? Who pays for securing the network? Who pays for the computing? That is where miners come in. So miners in this space are the people that actually protect the network. They have equipment. They call them ASIC mining equipment. Yeah, you can Google it up. So yeah, ASIC mining equipment. Those equipment is what they dedicate as servers that is actually protecting the network from hacks. Because whatever happens on the blockchain, it is irreversible. So once that the transaction has gone through, it can never be reversed. So if I've done a transaction, I can't take it back. So it is these miners that are actually protecting the network. And on Ethereum, for example, they are rewarded. So the question is, why should I provide my laptop or my ASIC mining equipment? Why should I provide it to Ethereum for other people to build their apps? It is because I'm going to be rewarded with a currency, and that currency is called Ether. So on the Ethereum network, the platform, the infrastructure itself is called Ethereum, but the currency that people use to protect the network, to secure the network, and any developer that is building any smart contract on Ethereum today would need to actually buy Ethereum to actually deploy his app to the public. That Ether is what the miners that's what everybody is speculating on, and that is what everyone today is saying. Oh, I want to own an Ethereum. So with these two examples, I hope it's a bit clear that what cryptocurrencies are, their use case specifically, it is to power a decentralized app. It is to ensure that a decentralized app is working, and whatever currency or token that is given is what the miners or whoever is part of the ecosystem is trading in an exchange, in whatever. So whenever you are buying a cryptocurrency, you should know that you are buying into a project, you are buying into an app. The question people also ask is, so these apps, are they way better than centralized app? Are they better? The biggest clear difference is that it is censorship resistant. And what do I mean by censorship resistance is that a decentralized app does not care about are you black, are you white, does not care if your location, so you can use it without actually registering. And the last use case is DeFi. So DeFi today, DeFi means decentralized finance. And what does it mean? It means that anything that you can think of today that the bank is doing, which is the primary job of the bank is to save your money, take loan from them, what else, mortgage and stuff like that. Think of whatever the bank is doing, think of it happening in a decentralized manner. So a clear example of DeFi is that I can actually take a loan from a project. So a clear example is a project called Synthetics, SNX, Synthetic Assets. So they offer loans, they offer lending, and tokenization of assets. So what I did was that I went onto the platform. You need to have, for anywhere you're taking loan, you need to have collateral. I gave them a collateral. They will tell you, okay, so what do you have as collateral? Remember, all these things are happening in a decentralized manner. That is, there is no bank there. There's account manager that is going to come and verify or audit me. The audit there is going to happen in a smart way. One, do you have collateral? Yeah, I say, okay, I have collateral. Okay, maybe my collateral is $10,000 worth of Bitcoin or $10,000 worth of Ethereum. I say, okay, this is my collateral. They will tell me how much I can borrow from them. And when I give back that, money that I borrowed, borrowed from them, I can take back my collateral. So that is another clear case practice of decentralized finance. So cryptocurrencies are there to enable, decentralized apps work. Yeah, so that's I knew I had 15 minutes, so I tried to keep it short to help you understand that one, there are two. If you don't take anything from this, just know these two things. One, cryptocurrencies are a new asset class. So these asset classes are just the same way we have, you buy domain, just the same way the same way we have equities for corporate equities are for organizations, bonds are for government. Cryptocurrencies are there to enable an app work. And one other use case is that cryptocurrencies do also the governance of the app. So now let's imagine that WhatsApp is decentralized. So the question is, how do we determine the next feature for what that WhatsApp needs to have? How do we determine the next upgrade that we should come on WhatsApp? That's where the governance part comes in. So most of all these cryptocurrencies, you can check Aave, AAVE, a lot of them, they have a governance protocol. So that governance protocol is simply say, okay, you're a particular in the economy, because it's also an economy. They'll ask you, okay, how many cryptocurrencies do you have? Then now let us vote for the next proposal. So, it's an open source software. So people will vote and say, okay, guys, let's develop WhatsApp to be able to do video. Like, I'm just giving a random example, to be able to do video call, or a clear example, SMS, their capital. Says, okay, let us reduce the capital, the collateral ratio from X percentage to X percentage, because we need to bring in more users. So people with the, what's it called? People with cryptocurrency, people with the token then decide to vote by voting for for what specific feature that that should be added on. And basically cryptocurrencies, a new asset class that allow decentralized apps to work. If you have any questions, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook is at TOYOSI.
Thank you very much, TOYOSI. Thank you very much, BABJIDE Teller. We've been able to know that it is the future and it's a disruptive measure. It's a means of hedging against inflation, and is a store of value. And there are only 23 million, say the most popular one, Bitcoin, available in the whole world. All right, it's question and answer. 21 million, only 21 million that are being traded across the whole world as the most popular cryptocurrency. And there are other cryptocurrencies that are available. Now, thank you very much for your presentation. We've come to the question and answer time. And I have the privilege of asking the question first, my own question first, because number one, I'm the moderator. So I have had this, we're very religious people as Nigerians. And what I've heard that, really tickled me or ticked me somehow was that cryptocurrency was created or made because the people who wanted to be using it were into drugs. They didn't want government to see them. They were into deep web, like mafia or bad people. So that has kind of stuck with me, that cryptocurrency came into being because of nefarious activity. So I'd like Babajide to say something and then followed by Toyosi. What is this thing about cryptocurrency being for the works that are not in the open? It's just something, I know it sounds crazy, but it's something I've heard, and it's something that has clouded the way I see it. So please, could you throw some light on that?
Sure. Happy to go with that. I think when people use that as an example, or when people refer to that to get people not to get into Bitcoin, the question I often ask them is the same money you spend today, are the mafians not using it? Are the fraudsters not using it? The drug lords still do, they still do money laundering here and there. And, and this is something that governments continue to fight against. So the fight for it is still in the existing traditional market space that we have in the world today. And, it's going to be an ongoing battle. So when you think about money, anything that has to do with money will always have those things in place. And then you get to start to talk about KYC, which is what a lot of countries around the world. So I'm based in the UK, and it is required that any cryptocurrency exchange in this country completes what we refer to as know your customer for every single person that is registered on their platform. And that is a standard. This is the simplest way, for all of these exchanges or all of these cryptocurrency wallets to help track anti-money laundering. So, and it's exactly the same thing that is required when you walk into, say, Zenith Bank today, and they ask you to bring your ID card, bring your, proof of address, electricity bill, is to kind of help protect all of those things. And that is why, to Toyosi's point earlier, cryptocurrency is not coming to replace the government, neither is it coming to replace the bank. It is only coming to change the way we access all of these services. And and then all of these platforms, all of these protocols that we refer to, be decentralized or centralized, have a huge role to play in protecting their customers, in protecting you and I, in making sure that they're even protecting the country or whatever sector that they are based in to avoid or to mitigate the risk that comes with anti-money laundering, or money that are used for terrorism, or money used for by drug lords or the mafias. So that is not an issue. It should only be an issue if we're not currently experiencing it in the traditional banking system that we have in the world today.
Thank you very much, Baba. Yeah, thank you very much, Babajide. So yes, it's something that can be used both for good and bad, just like our regular currency. But let me add a twist to it for you, Toyosi. Recently in Nigeria, the central bank kind of denounced or told everybody to stay away from cryptocurrency, and some bank accounts actually got closed because they were identified to be trading in cryptocurrency. And what is your take on how economies are adopting it? Because we know that Asia is beginning to regulate, and the United States and Europe, they're all looking at regulating. And with the example Tella gave us, they're already doing know your customer. So Toyosi, how do you see that in the Nigerian context? And what is it we should do in that context? Thank you.
All right. When it happened, like, I was heartbroken because it's like taking us back in the sense that, one, the central bank said two things. One, exchanges. So an exchange is a platform or a business where you convert your Bitcoin to Naira to Bitcoin. It banned all the exchanges, told the banks stop working with exchanges. And secondly, they advised the public against going into the industry. So I understand, CBN say, okay, guys, don't deal with cryptocurrencies because it's very, very volatile. Because most Nigerians that are, they are volatile. In my slide, so I mentioned that they are more scam than actual projects, because things are happening in a decentralized way. Anonymous teams are raising millions of dollars, and so it's understandable to protect, but banning of the exchanges, it's sad because Nigerians, there's no way you can stop them from investing in this space. People will always find loopholes. So one, I think it's very wrong to, ban exchanges, because one, these exchanges are doing KYC for their customers. There is no exchange in Nigeria today, no reputable exchanges in Nigeria today that you will register on that will not ask you to submit, your BVN, your driver's license or passport. They even ask you to take a passport photograph of yourself, because they're also trying to protect themselves by saying, you are depositing money into our bank account, so we need to know who you are. And the central bank, what I think they should have done was actually work with them because now Nigerians are actually buying off grid. So they are not dealing with any central party body again. So they are doing peer-to-peer. And because they are doing peer-to-peer, they are prone to scam. Apart from that, they are prone to scam. The Nigerian government does not have access to know who is buying what or what people are buying. But the exchanges served as gatekeepers because they were doing KYC. They were doing KYC. They were regulating. They even regulate how much you can buy, how much cryptocurrency you can buy. They'll tell you can't do more than this per day. And if the CBN had worked with the exchanges to say, okay, let us know your customer data, give us this data, etc. We would have it would have been a better approach. And lastly, it also broke my heart because the biggest exchange in the world today, centralized, for P2P is Coinbase. I'm not talking about the Binance, Coinbase. They did not raise. They went IPO on the New York Stock Exchange last week, and they are valued at over $318 billion. These Nigerian exchanges that you banned, that you banned. I know companies that have raised millions of dollars. Some raised, one even raised $5-6 million in seed round before CBN, banned. So those type of things are very, very, very bad approaches to investors looking to invest in Nigeria, looking to invest in young talent. And the prospect is there. United States has most of the exchanges, and they still allowed people go public. And that was very, very big. It shows adoption and acceptance of the industry. And I was looking forward to a Nigerian exchange either being acquired or being invested, acquired, or even go far as being big. So it is heartbroken. And to the last question, which is what should Nigerians do? Nigerians have already started doing it. They are doing P2P, or P2P is peer-to-peer. So there are platforms out there today that you can just go to localbitcoins.com, binance.com. You will see someone, you just say, oh, I see BABJIDE teller. You will see the amount of Bitcoin he wants to sell, you chat him up. The problem with that is that there are a lot of scam. People are getting scammed. Last week, I have a friend that lost over 5 million naira because, he was chatting with someone on Binance, and the guy, it's happening daily. So he was chatting. The person actually sent him proof of payment, and the money got reversed. So there's no way. He chatted the person, just blocked his number, and he's now trying to get court order to see I can get his money back, etc. What was happening before was the exchanges were actually the gatekeepers to actually protect people. They were, they would do KYC. They were the one giving you Bitcoin. But now Nigerians, you can't tell Nigerians not to go into an industry that people are making times 5 of their money in 1 week, times 10 in 1 month. People will go, and now they are falling into hands of scammers. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Thank you very much, Toyosi. So from what you are saying now, it is better if you are interested in, trading in crypto, you do it to a platform, an exchange platform, and not just by yourself, because I think that is what the central bank government was trying to protect the people from. you understand. But hopefully, if we have such platforms that are certified and such platforms that we can have access to, we can take part in it without being scammed, because 5 million naira is a lot of money to be scammed, and the proof of payment was reversed. These are things that are mind-boggling for a layman in the tech industry like myself. But before we go on, we have a comment here that was put in the group. He says, we have so many guys outside who are not willing to teach or mentor crypto and possibly give good advice for beginners on how to invest our money. I feel we should create a community of crypto to enable people understand in depth of it. Babajide Tella, do you wanna speak to this comment? This comment was by Taiwo Okpa-Leye. Thank you very much, Babajide, and Toyosi as well. Just one after the other. Thank you.
I actually want to speak on.
Actually, Toyosi, probably the same thing I was going to talk on, actually, because I was going to say there's a privileged group, in quotes, that Toyosi runs on WhatsApp, where people, loads of people, cryptocurrency enthusiasts, where people just share their thoughts, and, people ask questions, and, we take our time to as well, sometimes, get on Instagram, to just share my thoughts, around cryptocurrency, what's going on. If you check my website as well, so www.jidetella.com, I have a number of things that I've written up there around my thoughts around Bitcoin currently, top 3 cryptocurrencies that I'm currently investing in at the moment, and a whole number of things that you can just leverage on to just, to acquire as many knowledge as possible. But with another thing to probably just add for people, I say to people, when it comes to learning and acquiring knowledge about cryptocurrency, go to CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko.com, subscribe to their newsletter. These people send in regular newsletter every single day. So there's always something new to learn. That's one. 2, speak to people that you're already aware of. I mean, if you ping me on Instagram or, or even if you ping me on WhatsApp, I'm always happy to have conversation with you around what to do, how you can go about stuff. Toyosi creates videos every now and then, just to kind of, to share with people and create all of those guidance. But newsletter, definitely one piece. Follow guys on Twitter. Twitter is another ecosystem to be part of, where you can get the latest information about what's going on. You can ping people, DM people on Twitter. You'll be surprised how much people are willing to help, how much people are willing to talk to you. But you have to be very careful. If someone is asking you, send me money before I teach you something, I tell people to just get away from it, except if you're subscribing to a research, which is a totally different ballgame. But someone saying, oh, bring $2,000 to get $2,000 to $4,000 tomorrow, just run away from all of that. Toyosi, I'll let you chime in and probably the other stuff you want to add on.
Yeah. So thanks, Judy. So I wanted to mention that, unfortunately, WhatsApp only has can only take 250 people. The group is full. Like immediately someone leaves or mistakenly leaves the group, you see another person has joined immediately. People always beg me that they want to join the group. We run communities. There are also a lot of communities out there. And secondly, the answers are online. Just go to YouTube, search, go to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, like Jide mentioned. I also have I do a one-on-one session, but you have to just pay for my time, where I'm going to handhold you. I've created videos before. I still have those videos. I can give it to you for free. But I noticed that people don't like videos. They want someone to say, okay, come and show me how to use Binance, show me how to, check market cap, show me how to do this, how to spot, a project that can do times 10 of my money in 1 year. And stuff like that. I can teach, but you just have to pay for my time. But there are communities already. Check Twitter. If you are logged, and also in Crypto Arena, I think I know the person that asked this question. I think it's also in Crypto Arena. That's the name of the group. People voluntarily make videos on how to videos. I'm sure people can testify. Because I shared the Zoom link. So some people that the community are here, they can testify. People share, what's it called? share how-to videos, how to buy, how to sell, where to buy, where to sell, etc. Yeah, so I think that should,
Okay. Thank you very much, Toyosi. So, you see, we are in a very unique culture in this part of the world that sometimes we like to abdicate the responsibility of trying to learn about something to somebody else, right? Because when you started mentioning, go and you read newsletter, blah, 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 I won't lie to you, I was like, oh, here we go. But what we prefer in Nigeria is somebody to say, oh yeah, do this, do this, do this. I think what I will advise anybody who wants to take part in is to have a sense of responsibility, because you're going to be trading or committing your money. So I think committing your time to learn about what you want to put your money into is your own responsibility. And I think we should take it seriously. And as per groups, Babajide Teller and Toyosi are all available. We'll be sharing their slides, and please put your social media handles in the chat box so that we can continue. We have a question here from YD, but before I take that question from YD, and I have an announcement to make. We have ISEC in Nigeria, where we all used to belong, and we still are belonging to. It's going to be 60 in the year 2021. And the celebration is going to be coming up sometime in the last week of September into the 1st of October. Please watch this page. We will keep you posted. It promises to be a very big celebration, and we all must come together and make it work. So I have a question from YD, and he says, can one of the speakers talk about ENS domains? ENS domains. I have no idea what that is. So who is going to go first? I think maybe Toyosi could go first, and then Babajide. Toyosi, what are ESN domains?
So ENS is Ethereum name service. So currently, when you want to send money to someone on the Ethereum network, you send with a wallet address. It looks very long. It's like OXEFGY, blah, blah, blah. It's so long, about 32 character. So the proposal or the project is about us shortening that name, shortening that that wallet address, so it can now become something like BOMI.ETH. So it's also going to be a website. It's going, you can turn it into a website. It's a domain name. So it's a domain name, and also you can, what is it called? You can send money to that address and you will receive it in your wallet. I didn't invest in it. I don't know what specific questions you want to know. But I'm sure they launched 2 years ago. If that, I can tell you a bit of it. They launched 2 years ago. They have an auction format, so you don't just buy the names. There's an auction format that you used to buy the names. So you can actually, yes, the decentralized domain that's also not owned by GoDaddy. So GoDaddy today, like they purchase domains for people and they own domains. So a decentralized domain, ENS is a decentralized domain that is not specifically owned by anyone, and you can do anything with that with that domain. But it is going to be a .eth instead of .com, maybe .eth. Some people are quickly buying up domain names now. So people that like buying domains, so you can go and buy something like Facebook.eth, isec.eth, because you are thinking that, okay, in the next 5-10 years, that domain name might become valuable. So for example, I can't remember the specific name, but so imagine today that ISEC, before ISEC built their website, I already bought isec.com. So by the time ISEC now builds their website, they will now want to buy that .com domain from me. They have to come and buy from me at an higher valuation, higher price. So yeah, so that's it. So people are buying those domain names now. There's an auction format that's currently ongoing. Yeah, if you want to know more, I think try YouTube, check their website, and risk a little bit of your money on it. Yeah.
Babajide Teller, do you want to talk about ENS, or Toyosi has covered it?
I think Toyosi covered everything. I guess one thing to probably just mention is when it comes to blockchain, when it comes to cryptocurrency, what we should bear in mind is that the same thing that we all experience in the world today, there's a replication of it within the blockchain ecosystem. And the beautiful thing about blockchain in this context is that a huge number, a whole number of the time is decentralized. The whole number of the time is easier, it's cheaper, it's easier to move around. So like the ENS domain name that Toyosi mentioned, if someone is buying facebook.eth, Facebook might start approaching this person in 10 years time and so they want to buy. And you'll be surprised how much people actually sell domain name for. So, and the same way you can apply blockchain technology into the healthcare sector, the same way it's applicable in consumer retail, supply chain, and so many other industries that you can possibly think of. So just to kind of, just thought I should have that one.
Okay, thank you very much, Babajide Teller. I have a question here from Femi Bamigboye. Femi, it's nice to have you here. Great to have you here. So he says, I know this may be tangential, but does anyone of the guys want to briefly talk about NFTs? NFTs, what are they and how come they are also popular now? Sorry, NFTs, one of the two of you.
Okay, Jide, go first. Yeah, I'll round up.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to go first, and you can chime in and probably add more to that. And look, I think for the purpose of the people that are on, that are on this, that are on the call, if you've never done anything cryptocurrency before, I would say do not stress yourself yet about NFTs. But I'm just going to talk to it very quickly. So NFTs is basically what we refer to as non-fungible tokens. So and it's applicable in multiple ways. So if you think about
NFTs, sorry, what did you call it?
Non-fungible token. So I'm just gonna fungible token. 1 second. I'm sending that to everyone now. So it basically means that it cannot be replicated. It cannot be duplicated. You can only have one type of it. So if you think about artwork, so for the art lovers in the house, when you have paintings, a lot of the time they're very physical. You go to the museum to buy them or to see them or even sell them to museums or what have you. But it's pretty much bringing that same artwork, bringing it onto the blockchain. It's basically, you can have stuff like you can have music on the blockchain. You can have artwork on the blockchain, and all of these things can be transferred and can be sold and exchange of value to as well. Now, the beautiful thing about having your digital artwork, for example, is not just artwork. There's music. There's so many things that you can leverage on the NFTs. But the beautiful thing about bringing your artwork onto the blockchain is that you can actually track the authenticity. You can track if it is the original artwork that you own or not. So if you think about the world we have in today, I've seen Mona Lisa somewhere in Nigeria before. That Mona Lisa painting, I know for sure it is not the original Mona Lisa painting. Someone can walk into my office and say to me that this is the original one, come and pay 300 million pounds or something for it. Right? But how do I know if what you're bringing to my office is real? How do I know it's actually the original Mona Lisa painting and you are actually the original owner of that? Unfortunately, there's no way you can fake everything and bring them onto me. But with blockchain, that can be tracked. And I can tell for sure that actually this Mona Lisa painting belongs to XYZ, and actually the one I'm paying 300 million pounds sterling for is definitely the original version. So it's basically bringing all of the art that we have in the world today, bringing it into the blockchain space, and people being able to buy and exchange within the blockchain ecosystem. Toyosi, I just want to, I try to kind of simplify it because there's more technical terminology, technical understanding to even that, but pretty much what it is in basic terms.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I always just like to add to it to let people know that it's not only art. Just think about anything today that exists digitally that you own and that you can transfer complete ownership of that to another person. And there's a way to prove that that thing is the original document, that it's not a replica, it's not a duplicate of it. Because so for me now, when I started investing in NFTs, last year. Yeah, last year, early this year. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why somebody would pay 5 Ethereum or to $50,000 or $10,000 for a painting that you can't even see physically, that is just online. Like, why can't I just save the image? I didn't get it. Even till now, I still don't get it. I won't lie. Like, I used to tell GD, like, why are these Oyibo people buying paying lots of money for these things that just save on your computer? But I couldn't get it. But maybe because I am not a collector. There are some people that are collectors of art. They are passionate about it. They're like, oh, I own the original Mona Lisa. I own the original, this. And there are safe some case practice. This guy called Beeple, I think he has the highest, he's sold the highest NFT is about $60 million. And that he sold of an art that I did. But when I saw it, I was like, wow, I would also want to own this. And the person that bought it, like, he felt proud that I own this $60 million worth of painting, the original, and then I can transfer it, I can sell it at a later date. For football lovers, okay, what made it make sense to me was a platform called SoRare. SoRare.com. So SoRare is, so they have footballers on their platform. You can see Cristiano Ronaldo, you can see Messi, and they tokenize them. So so there is only one Ronaldo on that platform. So as Ronaldo performs in real life, the value of Ronaldo on the platform increases. So you as a fan of Ronaldo can go onto the platform and go and buy Ronaldo. So as Ronaldo is performing in real life, the value of Ronaldo increases. I'm just trying to give another example of an NFT that is not art, but it's also sort of relatable. So you can say, oh, let me get Ronaldo. I have Ronaldo on this platform. It's still very, still very new. And as Ronaldo performs and stuff, you can sell it to another Ronaldo fan, like that. So that's NFTs.
So basically,
can I also add?
Yeah,
yes.
Please.
No, I was just going to add another example. Another example is, think about NFT from a music perspective. So in the world today, if I'm if I produce a song, for example, I need to launch it on either Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and all of that. And a lot of the time I have to pay the what's it called? The people, the third-party guys that are taking my music, that are the distributors that are taking my music onto all of these platforms. I need to pay them a certain fee. And every single time people stream my music on Apple Music, or people buy my music on Apple Music, I get paid, but Apple Music still get their own fee. So with NFTs, for example, a musician can actually have their song on the blockchain, and every single amount of money that comes through, that just comes directly to them. They own it. They own it 100%. And people can know that they're not listening to a copyright song that another guy on Nairaland has published on Nairaland.com. I don't know if you can publish music on Nairaland, but I'm just using that as an example. So again, it just kind of brings, it brings us back to the point around fungibility. Fungibility, yeah, whatever that is. Yeah. So basically, it cannot be replicated, but at the same time, gives the owner of that particular NFT 100% ownership of it.
Okay, thank you very, very much for that enlightenment. So for me, what I got now is that NFT is just a very funkified, expensive way of displaying bragging rights. I don't know, but that's how I see it. Okay, so there's a question that I need to ask you. You see, for people who are not in the sectors that you're playing in, there are so many things, so many moving parts. There's one part that says cryptocurrency, and there's another one that says forex trading. I know we're not talking about forex trading, but can you differentiate what it is to us, and so that we know what they'll tell you, oh, crypto, oh, forex, and then you're just like, okay, I don't know, I don't want to get mixed up. So what is the difference between cryptocurrency, forex trading, and why should we even consider? I know you've told us why we should consider cryptocurrency. What advantages do the forex trading, or let's just compare the two. Thank you.
All right, so let me start. So, like I explained there, when I was describing, I tried not to classify cryptocurrencies as currency. That was why I call them assets. So for me, or to my understanding, cryptocurrencies are digital assets. And because there are lots of them, you are trading them against each other. And people are speculating on, because that's what it is, you are speculating on their value. You are saying that, oh, Bitcoin, let's say, for example, United States today says, okay, Bitcoin is legal. What happens? The price is going to go up. So you're going to, speculate on that going up. Or Amazon says, okay, we are going to integrate into Ethereum or something. The value of Ethereum will shoot up, and people are going to speculate on it. For currencies, currencies like the euro, the pound, the naira, they belong to countries. So I think the best way to see it is currencies belong to countries, while cryptocurrencies are digital assets for decentralized apps. They are for apps. They are not trading, they are not currency against each other. They are not country currencies. And but there are some exchanges, there are some platforms today that you see them speculate between Bitcoin and USD, or Bitcoin and the euro. That's understandable because it has grown to be an asset class with that is over $1 trillion. So there's that value there. The other advantage of cryptocurrencies against FX is of foreign currency, FX trading, is that it's 24 hours. 24 hours, it doesn't have opening time or closing time. FX, they have, I think, to Nigeria time is like 2 p.m. to I think 10 p.m. Nigerian time. And they don't work on weekends. The other thing also, advantage of FX is that it's not as volatile as cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are very, very volatile because they are not regulated. There is no strict regulation to say this is how much you should do, this is what you can do. And it's also an advantage of cryptocurrencies that it can be completely decentralized, in the sense that I don't have to do any KYC to go and come and trade my Ethereum against Bitcoin or anything. I don't have to go and register somewhere. I don't have to submit but if I want to do FX today, I have to go and register with a broker, submit my documents, do my proof of funds, and all those things. In cryptocurrencies, because of the asset class that I am trading. So if all of us, have that mindset that, okay, cryptocurrencies are not, country currencies, they just belong to a small group of assets, then the same way stocks are for companies. So, and people speculate on stocks of companies. So you see cryptocurrencies as asset class for, a new type of software.
Do you want to speak to that as well?
All right. Yes. Thank you very much, TOYOSI. And I think that's a really good question. And I'm gonna come to it from the angle of scamming. There's so many scammers out there that say to you that, oh, we do FX trading and cryptocurrency trading, and they don't even know jack shit about cryptocurrency, And you have to be very, very careful when people tell you that, bring your money, let us trade this for you. With cryptocurrency, you do not need anyone to help you trade it. You are your own bank. That is basically what cryptocurrency brings into the picture. Taking the responsibility away from a third party, you being responsible for it yourself. Now, there's so many FX brokers out there. You just need to make sure that you are definitely dealing with legit, well-registered SEC. I think SEC is the Security Exchange Commission in Nigeria. You need to make sure that the SEC registered, so that when your money, if anything happens, you're still protected by the SEC. There's so many scammers out there. They take money from you and then they run away, or they use I'm not sure what the English of this is. Oh, basically it's Ponzi. They use money from other people to pay you, and it's all good and all good and beautiful in the first couple of months before you realize that actually, this is all scamming. So you have to be very careful with people coming to you to say that, and hopefully the Nigerian government will be more receptive, more flexible in the future, and people can actually start, doing this trade directly with the platforms in Nigeria. But I know, as Toyosi said, there are P2P platforms where you can actually use to get money into a cryptocurrency wallet and trade yourself. I'm of the opinion that if you're new to cryptocurrency, do not think about trading. Don't worry yourself about trading. Think more about buying now, storing, and in the future, you can like to say you want to sell. Some people bought Bitcoin when it was, I bought Bitcoin for the first time in 2016, December 2016, I believe, when it was selling for $700, right? I lost some of that Bitcoin to scammers because I was super new and people were saying, bring money onto this one, and you get like 0.2 BTC every day. It's a lie. I don't have any Bitcoin, 0.2 BTC every day. So you have to be very, very careful. And if you think about people buying it at $700, think about $700 now worth $50,000, $56,000 today. That is massive gain. And you know what? We're not even there yet. The future is still very huge. The price is going to go boom. So you can just do it yourself. Do not depend on a third party to do it. Thank you.
Okay, so from what I gathered now, cryptocurrency trading is different from Forex trading. The Forex trading is trading currencies that belong to different countries, right? While the cryptocurrency is like doing it yourself in a decentralized manner. But I have a question from.
Sorry, can I let me just break it down. So it's still the same methodology. If you are doing cryptocurrency trading, right? I'm coming from the angle of just buy cryptocurrency to store, the same way you buy gold to store, the same way you invest in child trust or in what we refer to as ISA, in the UK, in the same way you do all of that. I'm only coming from the angle buy to store for future profit gains. If you're going into cryptocurrency trading, say you want to trade BTC against Ethereum or BTC against US dollars, it's still the same approach that you will use in FX trading that comes into that picture too as well. But if you're a newbie, just stay away from it. You don't have any business worrying yourself about that trading side of things, either as a day trader or what have you, because it is super volatile and you could easily lose all of your money. So you want to be very, very careful.
So you want to be very, very careful. He's talking to me. If I newbie, stay away from it. So I'm not doing crypto trading or anything for now. All right, I have a question from Mrs. Akisaya, and she says, do you envisage a regulation on cryptocurrencies in due course? Because you've already told us that they are not regulated and, it's not like there's a governing body. Do you envisage this will happen in the future?
Toyosi, go. I think you take that from a Nigerian perspective, and I'll just cover from a global standpoint.
Okay, so from Nigerian perspective, do I envisage a regulation? CBN has already made their stance known. I think in the long run, they might, and I think, okay, this is why it's two ways. So why the CBN might not, in Nigeria, might not do it is because cryptocurrencies are currently providing an alternative form of dollars or USD. So people are converting their Naira and buying stable coins. So there's a type of cryptocurrency that is called stable coin. So stable coin they are backed against the USD. So for example, one of them is called USDT. So one USDT is equal to one USD. So today, if Toyosi collects his salary, let's assume Toyosi earns 100,000 Naira. So Toyosi can take the entire 100,000 Naira or 80% of it and buy one US, because Aboki does not have dollar to give me. If I go to bank, they'll tell me no dollars, or I'm not able to transact with my dollar. So what I'll do is I'll take 80,000 Naira and buy USDT. That USDT is equal to me owning a dollar. That's one. Two, I suspected that one of the reasons why the government banned cryptocurrencies in Nigeria was that governments, they said people were converting money that were being laundered into a Bitcoin and stable coin etc, and there's no way for them to track it. The third thing was okay, so FX. So now the CBN has been putting a lot of regulation around remittance because they want that actual dollar for themselves. But Nigeria is an economy that has two what's it called, two currencies, two FX prices. Let me just say that way. There's the market price, that's the Abuki price, and then there's the official market rate. Official market rate is maybe 390. The real price where we can buy it is 470, 480. So if you use a remittance, parallel markets, thank you. If you use a remittance company like a TransferWise, they will deal at the official rate. So if I was living in US and I want to send money home to Nigeria, I send $100. I will have to, my recipient will get 39,000 naira because I have to use the official rate according to CBN. But if I buy Bitcoin, and send Bitcoin and sell that Bitcoin, the Bitcoin prices are pegged to the black market rate. So if I use $100 and convert it to naira, I'm going to be getting 49,000 naira. So remittance value, the prices were dropping because people were using crypto as an alternative form of sending money home. So rather than sending money home, I'll just go I'll register on an exchange. I'll like buycoins.com or nairax.com. I'll buy Bitcoin worth $100 and I'll sell that Bitcoin on that exchange to TOYOSI, and TOYOSI will get 49,000 naira. So people were using that means, and Nigeria is in a very, very deep hole right now. Our currencies are messed up, and we need every form of FX that we can get. So to answer the question, I don't think they will allow it for now until there's a way they can figure out how to make things work. Now the government needs as much FX, as much FDIs, foreign direct investment as possible. They need the dollar or oil price to go up. So anything that would sabotage that vision or that plan would not work, and cryptocurrencies right now does not favor the Nigerian government. Also, people are stealing money, corrupt people are stealing money, so they are probably buying. Those are their thoughts, or what I sense from the meetings I attended with CBN people and things that they stated. So I don't think there's any form of regulation coming in for now. What they're even looking for is scapegoats, people that that probably deal heavily in it, and then they'll use as a scapegoat. Hey, you're a fraudster or whatever, and then just to scare people from approaching the industry. So I don't think Nigeria, I don't think there's a regulation coming in soon. However, it does not mean that you can't deal in the space. It does not mean that you cannot invest in one of the transformational technology that's going to change our lives. Yeah, that is out there. I tell people, if on my WhatsApp, I'm number one Ethereum fan. Anything I say is Ethereum. So there's no way there's no way you should be stopping anyone from investing in Ethereum, because you are investing in an emerging technology that is going to change the way we interact with softwares, with apps. Every form of software today will one way or the other evolve to become decentralized, and it is this type of what's it called, and it's an opportunity. So it's an opportunity for us to all be there. So don't be scared of investing. Don't be scared of buying crypto or anything because of CBN or anything. Just take some precautions. Don't deal with scammers. Make sure you're dealing with legitimate people. That's what I have to say.
Okay, before GJ talks, you have said you do not think the regulation is going to happen. Toyosi, what is your advice if they were going to regulate? As somebody who has done this, what is your advice? What is A, you do this, B, you do this, C, you do this to get the regulation? Yes, we're not a government institution, but we're just talking, we're having a dialogue. If they were going to regulate, what is your advice? What is the ABC of the regulation that they should do?
Okay, two things. One, which is the most important, work with exchanges. The same guys that you banned, actually regulate them, regulate the exchanges. Say, okay, before you you become an exchange, you need to be licensed. You need to be licensed, own a particular, start selling the license. There are some countries that are actually selling licenses for how much, for you to be an exchange in their country. One, that's also a way to, generate internal revenue for you. One, that's it. Two, in process of regulating the exchanges, know what people are doing. Try to limit, how much people can buy. The thing is, people will still do P2P, but at least you curb, you curb all this down. You also, the KYC, try to have access to, the data, and let the exchanges know. Let the exchanges know that, anyone that, so for example, any exchange, let them know that part of terms and conditions is that whatever you do on our platform, whatever you buy or sell, we are sharing your data with the regulated, with a regulated entity, like the federal government or whatever. Thirdly, tax them. So it's also an opportunity for you to tax. For in the United States today, one of the reasons that I think they accepted cryptocurrency is because they want to tax you. Now, Biden, the prices of crypto went down 2 weeks ago because Biden said, or the administration said, you will be paying 45% return on your earnings on crypto, and people started selling, and people started liquidating and all. In Nigeria, people are making loads of money in this crypto. Like, you invest $100 in within 1 year, you get $10,000 or $50,000. There is an opportunity for you to actually tax people, and it starts from you regulating the exchanges, because this is where people register, where they buy. Yeah. So yeah, and also someone just mentioned also that a futuristic legal regime to regulate Nigerians from scams. So a framework that would also sort of protect everyone from getting scammed. So if you are launching a crypto project, you are raising an ICO or anything, there should be a framework for doing that, because people raise money anyhow. So if you've raised, so for example, there's currently an hearing between SEC in the United States and Ripple. Ripple is a cryptocurrency, and this was because they said they raised securities. They raised some from securities, I think 4, 5, 6 years ago, and they want them to be fined. There are Nigerians, there are companies in Nigeria, and I know personally that I know personally that raised millions of dollars, and after raising millions of dollars, we didn't hear anything from them again. They just, we are working on it. One of them went viral on Twitter, and they were calling out the founders and all those things. Again, this is not to scare anyone from participating in this space. Trust me, this is one of the best industries to be, to as investors that have a good risk appetite. And there are even strategies to also mitigate your risks. You can see me in the mirror for that. But there should be ways that the government also sort of regulate anyone that is raising any form of money. And
okay. I think you've done justice to it. Babajide, do you have anything to add to what he said about the regulation, if it will happen? And you are in the UK, they're already regulating it, right? Do they tax it as well? Do they also control the volume of transaction on the exchange platform?
Yeah, look, I think thanks for that. I think Toyosi covered almost everything already, right? So it's all about collaboration with the key players in that space to kind of understand how best to regulate it. Number two is more around the KYC elements that I referred to earlier from an anti-money laundering perspective. That is another angle that they can actually come into play. From a tax angle, I think it's a huge revenue for the country too as well. In the UK, it's Bitcoin. Only Bitcoin is referred to as an asset. So that means you get to pay capital gain tax on it, depending on when you're actually cashing out. And there's exactly the same thing that's applicable in the US that you also mentioned earlier. I think that is huge. If you think about New York, for example, if you're opening a Bitcoin shop in New York, you have to get what they refer to as BIT license, which is a key license that is required for Bitcoin operations in New York City. So it's all of those type of things that actually help start to increase customers or consumers' confidence in a particular industry. But then again, like Toyosi said, this is going to be transformational. And if Nigeria is not tapping into, or rather, if Nigeria is not participating, in the early days of this transformational regime, it means that we start to play catch up in the future, right? And that's not what you would expect from a country that should be forward looking. So again, I think there's so many things that we can learn from different countries in the world that can be leveraged on and that can serve as a huge revenue for the country too as well.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have gone beyond our time limit, but we'll just so now the two of you will not speak to a question. It's just going to be one and then we're done. So this person is Isaac alumni in Middle East. He said, how do we do in order to detect scammer, Jide? And then he said, do you have a training program to involve Africans? If yes, what is the link? Where can we catch up with the requirements? So since he mentioned Jide, you will take that. And then we also move down to the next question. Please keep that question, you'll answer it. These are the last questions we're going to be taking. After they finish this, we are going to call it a day. So it says, okay, it's not a question, it's from Toyosi. A futuristic education program will help turn Nigeria to a global center of blockchain and cryptocurrency. So Jide, you're going to speak to that one about the learning and how do we identify a scammer? He's not going to come with a placard saying, I'm a scammer.
No. No. I think when it comes to the cryptocurrency space, like Toyosi said, there are so many scam coins out there. People will say, buy this coin, you make X amount of money. I think it's really difficult to identify. And I think that's the challenge, which is why you have to do a lot of due diligence yourself. And some of the things that I do when someone tells me about a particular coin is, one, I want to check them out. Are they available online? And what's their website? Let me even go to their website. Then I go to their website, want to read more about them. You'll be surprised that I go as far as checking their terms and conditions. Or is it the policy or whatever it is. You realize a lot of scammers just do copy and paste. They don't make any changes. A lot of scammers, when they have link on their website, when they say, one that I saw a while ago, they say, I've seen on Bloomberg, on CNN. You actually click on that link, you click on Bloomberg, there is nowhere to go to. And some of them, you actually search for them on Bloomberg, they're actually not available on Bloomberg. So that is another way. Another thing that I do so as well is, I look at the team. Who are the guys that are behind it, for example? Who are these guys? What experience do they have in this space? I've seen one, I saw one actually 2 months ago, where the same guy that said is the CEO and founder is also the guy that is the CTO, just that he's got different hairstyle, to it. And people will subscribe to stuff like that without particularly checking and, give out their money. And then you realize that you get that the following day, your money is no longer there. And there's some that are really, really good, really, really good. They have the right website, all of the links check out, and all of those things. I think you just have to be very careful. There's another thing Toyosi talks about a lot, community, the power of the community that you're part of. A lot of these guys are probably on Telegram, Discord. What are people saying about this particular project or this particular cryptocurrency? And talk to people. I mean, I spend time with Toyosi, or if not every day, just chatting about different things that that I've heard about, and we bounce ideas off each other, and we go away sometimes and do our due diligence and come back to it. But from a Nigerian context, for people that are saying, oh, invest in FX and cryptocurrency to get 30% profit, some even promise you 300% profit. Like I said earlier, you do not have any business dealing with them if it's cryptocurrency. Do your own cryptocurrency yourself. Download a wallet, like I said earlier. Complete your KYC and you complete your KYC and registrations on this platform. When you're registering, there's something they refer to as seed phrase. That seed phrase, you have to take good care of it as though it is your life. It's similar to a share certificate that you get when you buy shares from the bank, right? So you need to keep those seed phrases. I think it's about 18 to 24 words, and the reason why you need to keep it is if for whatever reason you forget your login details into that particular wallet, you need those seed phrases to be able to access it again, or else your money is gone completely. Okay, some people have lost their seed phrase. Please don't lose your seed phrase. Just make sure you have it. It's very, very important. Okay, so just make sure you don't lose it. So the what's it called? And oh my God, I lost my train of thought. So seed phrase. What else? And just make sure that you protect yourself against against scammers. Now for FX trading of 300%, that is a totally different ball game. I don't encourage people to do those things. There's so many scammers out there. Again, just download a reasonable wallet and do those things yourself. You can check videos online. You can chat me up. Ping Toyosi, ping anyone that you think is already savvy in that space that can guide you and hold your hands around it. In terms of training, like Toyosi said, I know Toyosi have got like some training session where you've got to pay for his time. I think anyone will ask you to actually pay for for their time if they have to hold your hand to show you how to go about it. I do the same thing too as well. I do $2 per minute, but maybe I can bring it down for ISECers. But it's pretty much around so many resources that are available on the internet that you can leverage on. And I'm always happy to answer questions. If I don't come back to you in 24 hours, I will make sure I come back to you as soon as I can. And that you don't even have to pay for. So just avoid scammers, avoid too good to be true deals. Get 300% in 2 days. Please run away from it.
Yes, get 300% in 3 minutes. That's available, but you are earning $2 per minute. Wow, I need to change my day job. All right, with that, we have come to the end of this very enlightening session. I came in with a lot of skepticism and, whatever, but right now they have really cleared up the fog, and I am more informed, and I hope you all will also take responsibility. If you're going to learn, or if you take responsibility to learn before you partake in cryptocurrency. And we have these two ISECers, you understand, they are in-house, and according to our ISEC creed, they have integrity, they make sure that they take care of their name is good. And that is why we brought them to you today. You can reach out to them on their social media handles. If you had seen the digital banners, their social media handles are there. Or you can even write us at info@isecalumni.org.ng. We can send you the information. All those who dropped their email addresses will be getting the slides made by the speakers. But what we'd like to say is that get the education, get the proper information before you go into it. And as the two of you, I would say, if you have the opportunity, would like you to also press for the regulators to actually regulate these sections, because if the tax is coming in, it is for the good of the country. And I think there's so much opportunities that we need to take. In the light of that, I think we're going to call it a day. I'd like to thank Toyosi and BABJIDE Tella. I'd also like to mention that we have some former alumni presidents here. I have in person of Mr. Shola Oyetayo. He was ISEC alumni president, I think maybe maybe before I was born or something. But he's my Oga. I have from the executive board, Shenywa Sheweje, former executive board, I have Buchi, and Tunde also fully represented. I'd like to thank Femi and Femi Bangboye and Demola Ajani as well. And Labake and I were also on the EB together, as well as Marcel Imba. Right now, we are being fully supported by Martins Ibong. I'm sure you have been seeing him reaching you. And I'd also like to thank Nia Adeniyi, Nia Adeyemi, former MCP. I'd like to thank ISEC alumni in Africa and Middle East for giving us this platform to use at any time we want. Thank you very much. We'll be calling it a day. And right now, I'm going to allow us to be able to unmute, because we're seeing some of us are seeing ourselves for the first time or in quite a while. And I'd like to remind you that the ISEC Alumni Talks holds every fourth Sunday of the month. And if you believe you are a subject matter expert, please feel free to reach us on isecalumni.info@isecalumni.org, and you can drop the name. The title is the title should be ISEC Alumni Talk. So Toyosi, you were wearing a t-shirt. Labate made a comment that you're wearing a t-shirt. Do you want to tell us about the inscription on your t-shirt?
Okay, it's cryptofully.com. I am opportune to be very, very involved with it. So Cryptofully is a platform where you can convert your Bitcoin to Naira. We do it very secure and secure way. So if you have Bitcoin today and you want Naira, you can do our platform, register, you see the rates there, and you get your money in maybe 5 minutes.
All right, thank you. With that, we have come to the end of today's program. Thank you very much for joining. We had quite a number of people who joined before time. That is the ISEC spirit. They joined 30 minutes before the event, and we do not do African time in ISEC. So thank you all for those who joined at first. We had Sholato, had Mrs. Akisanya, we had Adamu, who joined us before. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, we'd like to say, have a great evening. All those who have dropped their email addresses will be getting the slides. Hey, ISEC, say what, say what. Thank you. Irene, Femi.
All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Ciao, bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Yemi, Sonate, Uchi, Adamu. All right then. Thank you. Goodbye.